Welcome to Walking the Path. Has January felt a little loud? Have you felt some pressure? Like you're supposed to have everything figured out, like your intentions for the year and everything's supposed to be like set, locked, and loaded? If that feels a little out of sync, there's a good reason. Welcome to Walking the Path. I want to talk about letting divine order emerge today. And one of the things I want to bring forth is rythmia. This week at Rythmia, Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith is here. And it's always such a special time when he's here. We attended, when we have guest speakers, I'm going to be a guest speaker in March. I'm super excited about that. When we have guest speakers at Rythmia, they do live workshops. And Reverend Michael did 2 workshops this week. I want to share a little bit of the transmission that he gave and then kind of bring that into some things that are really up for me. But more than anything, so Rythmia, come see us at Rythmia. There's always such great things going on. Come see me in March. I'll let you know the exact weeks in the coming weeks, but it's on their calendar. And if you're calling and want a book, just ask them for John Jacob Mubarak week. And okay, so we have this sense that divine order isn't anything that needs to be imposed. Divine order exists, and divine order doesn't mean that everything's comfortable and looks good all the time. And it doesn't mean that we don't experience uncertainty or disruption. But what divine order means is that there is a larger intelligence at work. And that larger intelligence is larger than our personalities, larger than my fears or my doubts. It already exists. We don't create it. We align with it. We allow it, as Reverend Michael says, we make it welcome. And, think about it. Your heart is beating, your lungs are breathing, the waves are waving in, the sun is rising and setting, and all of that's happening without us doing anything. Food is digesting. One of the great lines from Reverend Michael and at Agape is, we don't make it happen, we make it welcome. And what are we making welcome? We're making welcome this sort of transformation. In Reverend Michael's workshop, he shared the teaching that trans means to go beyond, and formation means beyond your current formation, beyond your current identity, beyond the current structure of things. So beyond the current way that we see ourselves. And so transformation isn't about self-improvement. It's really about and it's not about becoming a better version of ourselves, right? It's really about moving beyond this idea of where we're living from, beyond our identity that shapes our past beliefs, beyond the identity that is our old conditioning, and beyond the identity that shaped our circumstances and conditions, that maybe don't feel like the truth of who we are anymore. Beyond all of this is the key point, that we're not transforming into something. We're transforming into alignment with something that already exists. And this is another part of Reverend Michael's teaching that was so beautiful about the divine prototype, that there is a divine pattern, a divine prototype within us, just like with the oak tree and the acorn. There's something in the seed of anything that has the whole structure, everything already within it, waiting for the right conditions to be activated. It's not a vague possibility. It's not an idea that the seed needs to figure out. It's already there, and when the conditions are right, it expresses. And the entire pattern is already within it. And this is also a divine order that's already within us. This divine order that's in us already exists. We don't have to force it through making intentions and figuring out from our mind, from our personality, what I want to create in the coming year, because that's coming from the past. But if I can align with that already existent order and pattern within me, then we're not talking about forcing anything, right? I'm not talking about hustling. I'm not talking about figuring it out. I'm not talking about inventing it. There are movements of freedom, of liberation, where we are more free, more aligned, more loving, more clear. And these moments aren't accidents. They're glimpses. They're glimpses into alignment with that which is deeper and true within us. So, we've normalized so much in the world. We've normalized complacency. We've normalized materialism. We've normalized scarcity. We've normalized fear. We've normalized separation. But what has not been normalized is this awareness that we're living inside of a transformative process guided by an intelligence. And this is where a little quantum language might come in handy. Quantum physics tells us that the most fundamental level of reality is not solid. At the most fundamental level of reality, there's an infinite field of potential and possibility. And it's from that field that forms emerge. This is a long-standing metaphysical principle. It goes back to Hermes Trismegistus. I probably said that wrong, but from the Emerald Tablet, as above, so below, as within, so without. That consciousness precedes form. That or form follows consciousness, saying the same thing. From that field, we emerge. We weren't created. We emerged from a field of consciousness. And this wasn't random. It wasn't accidental. It was indeed an expression of an infinite possibility taking a specific form as you and me. And just like the acorn doesn't choose the oak, we did not choose the deepest truth from our mind. It gets to be revealed. Our deepest truth is already within us, the truth of our soul, the truth of our heart, and we don't get to figure it out. We get to reveal it. And so if you try to decide your intentions on the level of personality, you're going to just recreate the past. But if you create the right conditions, which is really safety in the nervous system, permission not to decide yet, and repeated contact with a deeper listening, right? Safety in the nervous system, permission not to decide yet, and a repeated connection with spirit. Those three things will help something emerge within you, not from your mind, but from the deepest part of your soul. And mutations, this is another great thing Reverend Michael talked about. He talked about mutations. There have always been human beings who have broke free from the dominant conditions and circumstances, not by force, but by seeing through appearances. And this is another long-standing metaphysical principle, to see through appearances, to see through the conditions and circumstances to the truth behind that which is changing. There's something eternal and unchanging behind that which is changing. And so we're seeing individuals throughout time and history who broke free from this limited vision. These individuals, Reverend Michael called them mutations in consciousness. He named Gautama Buddha, Zoroaster, and Yeshua ben Yusuf. But I'd also add Lao Tzu, who articulated the Tao, that there's a natural way of things that are revealing the harmony that's already there, that through alignment, this harmony is revealed. Plotinus was another, taught that the soul originates from the one, and that can be remembered, that we can remember its source through our inner tuning rather than external striving. All of these people are pointing to a reality that isn't dictated by social hierarchy or religious dogma, but it's or imperial power. It's something that's already within us. These luminaries weren't escaping the world. They were people who were no longer hypnotized by it. And they recognized something essential, that conditions and circumstances are temporary, and they're not the ultimate truth. So this is why divine order matters so much, because there's a deeper intelligence that continues to unfold regardless of temporary forms. And if we can connect with that deeper intelligence, then, and I'm talking about this for our New Year's intentions, right? I wouldn't rush to your intentions. You're not behind. I'm waiting until the end of the month. And I'm allowing this time right now for something to mature within me, for something to ripen within me by listening to a deeper intelligence, a deeper order that's within me, for my intentions to emerge, not from my mind, not from my personality, but from the divine order, the prototype, the divine pattern that's already in me. So we stop asking what makes sense based on who I've been, and we begin to ask what's trying to express through me now. And in this way, I want to encourage you to step out of the pressure of the Gregorian calendar. You know, the Gregorian calendar is a relatively recent piece of human consciousness. It was designed really for administration and business and agriculture and governance, and it was never intended to reflect our inner transformation, our nervous system rhythms, the rhythms of nature. It was really designed for administration. And there are print shop gals. She's like, "Amen. That's right. We're still shedding. We're still in the year of the snake until February 17th." So I wouldn't even start thinking about, I would start waiting. I would start being open to something emerging. I want to talk about ancient calendars that were in tune with the rhythms of nature. The Chinese calendar is a lunisolar calendar. It recognizes that the year doesn't begin on January 1st. It completes in January or February. This year, it's February 17th. And it's traditionally a period associated with reflection and closure and preparation, not initiation. I'm not talking about initiation in like initiated to a new level, but initiation in starting things. It's a time of reflection. And then the Hebrew calendar. The Hebrew calendar marks also lunar solar, but it's in the fall with Rosh Hashanah, and it's emphasizing return and inner reckoning. The Persian calendar, uh, Nowruz is their new year, and it begins with the spring equinox. And the Vedic calendar follows lunar cycles and also emphasizes inner readiness and alignment. So all these ancient calendars across cultures, across uh, times, has a consistent message that new beginnings arise from completion. And clarity follows digestion. It comes from alignment. Action follows alignment. So if you feel tired right now, unclear, or resistant to making declarations in early January, nothing has gone wrong. You're all right. We're still in a completion phase. And you know what else sits underneath the Gregorian calendar? It reflects a worldview, because it came right at the same time as the Enlightenment, rationalism, Cartesian philosophy, right? Descartes was, "I think, therefore I am." The Enlightenment was mind over matter. The Gregorian calendar is an assertion of order, and it was very productive. It's been very fruitful, but it doesn't fit because we have a leap year, this thing called a leap year. Every 4 years we have an extra day because it doesn't fit. It's not really in tune. It's a artificial order that's imposed, which is very much part of the Enlightenment, right? Mind over matter. I think, therefore I am. Mind over matter. Really, the metaphysical reversal of Cartesian philosophy would be, I am, therefore I think. I am, therefore I can use this beautiful mind in service to something, not to create the order, but to serve it, to serve that which already exists, right? Because the Enlightenment was like, I can analyze it, measure it, organize it, and then impose an order on it. That was the whole sense of the Enlightenment. And we got beautiful stuff from the Enlightenment, lots of gifts, science and technology, administration, predictability. But it's also come with a cost. It subtly trains us that order must be asserted and not received. And that clarity has to be decided, not discovered. Now, when you decide something, you're killing off other possibilities. Decide, matricide, suicide, infanticide, killing something off in order, killing one thing off. That's the decide, same suffix, same ending. So, we want to act, don't be forced to act quickly, right now. January 1st is like a demand, right? Like decide now, declare it now, fix it now. But I think the invitation, what I'm feeling, and so many people have responded to this in a really affirmative way, is there's nothing wrong with you. And there's a conscious counter move to the paradigm right now, which is there's an inner intelligence, a greater intelligence that exists prior to my thinking. And there's an order that exists before my planning. And there's a wisdom in the body and the psyche and the field itself. And this is not anti-intellectual, anti-intellect. It's post-dominance. It's a shift from I think, therefore I am to I am, therefore I think. It's a shift from I must impose order to I can align with order. It's a shift from mind over matter to mind in service to life. And this is exactly where a feminine principle comes in. You know, feminine doesn't assert order, it receives a pattern. It senses timing and it listens for what wants to emerge. And then the beautiful masculine, divine masculine comes in and does its sacred work of naming and structuring and articulating and committing, right? It's in service, not in control. So yeah, you might be feeling something deeply intuitive, deeply coherent that January, becomes a re-education of how creation actually works. It's not from dominance or urgency, but it comes from an alignment with a wisdom that already exists, that I come into alignment with. So this is not just a spiritual insight. It's really a civilizational insight, right? And it's exactly the right frequency to set for this month. This month is not asking you to decide who you will be. This month is asking you to listen to what's emerging, what's already emerging, what's already in you. And just like the acorn doesn't rush to become the oak tree, you're not meant to force your next becoming. Donna, I'm so glad Donna said, I needed to hear this. So I'm so grateful, because when the conditions are right, presence will emerge. Emergence is inevitable. It's inevitable. You don't need to push anything. So this is our transmission today. I'm so grateful and so thankful that you're here. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you next week. And I look forward to seeing you at Rythmia in March when I'm doing my guest speaker week. All right. Peace and blessings.